A shed update, and this has got a cinematic version on this camera, and I wanted to try it for the ARC. I thought this would be a unique experience. Probably doesn't do anything, but we'll just go with it instead. But anyway, a shed update. I picked this up at a consignment shop. And when I say consignment shop, it's usually a place that they sell a lot of clothing, like knickknacks and stuff like that. But they do also sell toys if you go into these consignment stores. Most do not, but there's some that do, and some around here. They do get models occasionally, and this was in there. And I did not pay the $12.99, which I might have paid that if that came out, because this is from the Adversary set from the original line where they were AMT. I don't know if I got one handy. Oh, I do. That's what it came out. So when AMT came out with this, you got all three ships: the Marauder, the Burrell, and the Warbird. Well, 30 years later, the wizards that be at the marketing campaign at AMT round 2, they decided to, hey, let's make the Warbird one kit and these two one kit, which it's all right. I mean, it's cool. I'd rather have all three kits, my personal opinion, but anyway. It's still sealed too, so I was like, man, and it was very cheap, so I picked it up, and I will be adding, and I call this one the Burrell class because it's the smaller one. I believe the K-Vort is the bigger one out of the two, so you know, it all works out. I think it's just a very fun kit. You just don't see Adversary. You know, I know the Ferengis wouldn't classify them as bad guys, but they are. It is a cool looking design ship too. Always wanted a studio scale one, which was like about 4 feet long. I always thought it just looked cool. Of course, it's got a bunch of, you have to drill a lot of holes for the lights, but I think it's just a cool design. But anyway, adding that to the art. Everyone's seen when I finally got this out of layaway at the hobby store. It is a Revell's Star Destroyer. I know a lot of people have got this kit. I've got this kit. I like the kit. It's got, you know, some flaws to it, toy-like in some places, but anyway, I think it's a great size, and really for the price, it's really a nice kit. Even if you just slapped it together and just put a wash on it, it's just a beautiful model. Plus, you know, I like to have two in the ARC, so now I have two. And then if you look at the box art, 1, 2, 3. Now we need 3 of them, you know, but that's just me. But anyway, I wanted, I always want 2, and you can never have enough capital ships. So, and then I wanted 2 because 1, you got the little antenna that's laying flat, and then in the A New Hope, it's got the one where it's raised up. So now I have both those. But anyway, keep one sealed, keep one open. It's just one of those things. So we're adding another Star Destroyer to the art, and I gotta find out. I'm gonna have to restack my my little catch-all stack here. It's kind of getting down to unstackable area. The Millennium Falcon. I actually went ahead and found another one. I don't have this box one at all, so that was a plus. I'm not a real big fan. I think it kind of cheapens it out because I actually use the model. I'm not a real big fan of the picture of the model on a I won't say Photoshop box. I mean, it's all right, but anyway, the reason I got this kit is because there's actually 2 Falcons in there, and so I got to have 1 Falcon for this box, and then I get to have 1 Falcon to make the Falcon prize from Zapped. And I pretty much there was actually 2 kits in here. One was started, which it's not all too bad, and that was great for what I want to do. So I popped off most of the pieces that I'm not going to use for it. Added the I didn't sacrifice it. Now I actually had one that was already started. You gotta have, please don't fall, please don't fall. Yep, it is. You need a smoothie, Enterprise. And I picked this one up. I picked this one up at a garage sale, and it was even still had the stickers for the warp engines and everything. But anyway, it was started and painted and everything, and that was all right. You know, you can. There is not a model alive that you cannot reuse. But anyway, needed the pylons. I did what they did. They glued them on back here, and if you ever put the put one of these kits together, then the cells on the pylons suck. They need to be if they ever reissued this kit, they'd have to redesign or re-engineer that so it would actually fit. And they need to do it like the where is it like that one or that one. The pylon placements on there are just fantastic, well thought out. But anyway, I went ahead and I cut out some notches. I shoved them in there, and then what I did is I took styrene and I basically made I laminated up some styrene scraps, and I made a V, and I shoved it through the pylon here, and I basically made a little channel so it makes it good and sturdy. And I just glued that down, and got the pylons glued on. And then what I'm going to do next is take some 5-minute epoxy and just fill it up around here. That way, just give it something really good, solid, and then the cells won't droop or break off. And then I'll be ready to, well, I got to do one little surgery, and I got to cut the, I don't know why they, well, I don't understand. They cut that part off on the, which they probably didn't want it to recognize as a Falcon, but you know it is the Falcon when you watch the movie. But anyway, I got to cut that off, which I'll probably do later this in a few days. But anyway, I got to cut off the locator pins all here, because they actually took both halves here and glued them on, and and this is actually sits flush like that. So that's pretty slick. But it also has lights, and they got 2 lights here, they got 2 lights there, and 2 lights there, and I think there might be one on the back here. But anyway, it's going to have 2 blinking lights. It's going to have a blue one here for the blue dome. There's a red dome on top, and some probably some cool whites on the headlights on the front, and that's pretty much it. And then I'll show everyone once I get the cells on. They actually take Falcon parts and glue it on here, so that would look slick. I just think it's just a funky design. You know what it is and everything. It's just too cool. But anyway, more on that later on. Also, I am now the proud owner of. I will be making some snow bases. This is a ODG base that he did for the tumbler. It's a gorgeous base. Mine's going to be vacuum formed, but here's the resin master for it. So I'll do some plugs this in a couple days, but I want to show everyone. This is what a painted version looks like. And do I have a tumbler? If not, we'll have to go use the Lola. I do. Wow, that's the bank. That's close enough. We'll work that out. That was the first tumbler I ever found that was basically 25th or you know, before the models came out. So it's basically something like that, like going through the snow. And you don't necessarily have to use the tumbler. You know, you can use, for example, the Lola. It can go through the snow. I mean, you can use any kind of car, and it's just not, you know, it's just generic enough to where you can use, you know, civilian cars, military cars. And speaking of military, you could put, it does have tire tracks, so you'll probably have to get wheeled vehicles. And you can come back here to the wheeled vehicle section, and you know, you can use like the Guardian there. You can use you know, thing's endless. Even modern World War II, you know, you could you can even modify the base and, you know, make it a different time frame, make it science fiction. And even not necessarily even have to make it snow. You could probably make it a sand or you know, a desert street, something like that. Just different ways to paint it. But anyway, that's going to be coming soon from me, very, very soon, at bradhareproductions.com in the store section. But anyway, one more thing, and that is the Glenn Hoover book. I do not own one. I got this one on loan to me to show everyone how cool it is. And by looking at the actual book itself, the more I keep looking at it, this pretty much sets the standard for instruction sheets. I mean, it is just absolutely crazy. This pretty much sets the standard, or rewrites the standard for instruction sheets. I mean, it's just, you almost need this in every model kit that comes out. I mean, it's just absolutely blows my mind. I think it's a great kit. And I'm gonna try to get me one, or because he does produce a series of books, so I'll probably get one to add to the ARC itself, which I have a few books in here, which I don't like to put a whole lot of literature, but I do add some, like Shepard Payne's Dio books and a few others that I like to sneak in. But anyway, I think that's an excellent addition to the ARC someday. But anyway, that's what I have got going on today. I am adding, wherever I put it, another Star Destroyer. I am adding a adversary set, and I do have a new snow base back there in the diorama section, but that will be kitted and available very, very soon. Adding another Millennium Falcon to the ARC, and I think that's it. So that's what I've got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.